Good afternoon, and welcome to the Baseball and Beer Podcast. I'm your host, John Nee, along with my co-host and beer expert, J.R. Nicholas.
Hello.
So, what are we drinking on this Friday?
We are drinking Einger Pilsner. It is a World Cup theme podcast here tonight from Germany. Einger from Polliner, not Polliner, from Munich, Germany. This is Einger. Polliner is also from.
It's
really nice.
That's a good one. We've had this before.
This is good. I'll introduce one more that I'm going to crack in a moment. We're going to dive. We're not dipping our toe in the pool. We're going to drink some Chimay. Here, let's throw it up. We have some Polliner, which we might have had before.
Yes, we have.
And we have some Peroni from Italy. So we got Germany and Italy, and if Iceland had a team, we have some Einstock. So there's all the beers we're going to sip. We're just going to get after
this lovely weekend.
This is really, really good. Einger's a fave.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. All right, so let's dive right. Yeah, cheers, man. Let's dive right into the Phils.
Cheers.
So the Phils, they reached the halfway point last night, folks. 81 games into the season. They're sitting at 45-36. They've crept within 4 games of the Braves. Something we thought was over a couple weeks ago with a 10-game lead.
At 14.
And now we're back to we're 4 games out. They're a game and a half up in the wild card, so they're sitting in a really good spot.
Yeah, doing good.
They start the second half with a series up in New York against the Mets tonight, and over their next 5 series leading up to the All-Star break, 4 of the teams they'll play, starting with the Mets tonight, are last place teams.
They stink.
And the 5th team is the Pirates, who are 1 game over 500 and will most likely be below 500 by the time the Phillies play them.
They're not in a bad division. That division's pretty damn good.
I mean, over the next 16 games, though, look, this team has a chance to win 10 or 11 games and possibly, with a little bit of luck,
right there with the Braves,
maybe catch the Braves at the All-Star break. I mean, that's a good possibility.
The Braves are in a little funk right now.
Yeah, they're reeling,
man.
Their pitching's hurting. They've had some injuries.
San Diego beat them up a little bit. They're
in a bad way.
They're in a bad place right now. And how about,
yes, they are.
Just if I may, the last 3 nights making history. I didn't know anything about the history until they said it today. Like 3 home runs in the 9th. That's pretty incredible. It's pretty awesome, man.
I mean, here's my take on that. Look, I'm excited the Phillies won them 3 games and came back. But let's be honest here, folks. I mean, the Phillies are sitting in a good spot right now. We're 4 behind the Braves, but it's not all glory in Phillies days. Because let's be honest here, if the Nationals had any semblance of a bullpen, they're the worst in the league.
That bullpen's
1 or 2
terrible.
relievers,
terrible.
They may have swept the Phillies, and they may have been ahead of the Phillies this week. So I'm excited they came back and win. They showed some funk.
Yeah.
They showed some grit. But let's be honest, that bullpen sucks. There's no other way to put it.
Tuesday night was, wow.
Last night was 5-0 to come back. Nobody expected.
Yeah, how about Sanchez not having a good start?
Didn't expect that.
But there was some bad defense behind Sanchez, if I recall.
There's always bad defense.
There's a couple errors.
We're an awful
I think at least
squad.
2 of them runs were unearned, maybe 2 or 3 runs were unearned. So Sanchez wasn't horrible, but he wasn't good.
Yeah, we're an awful defensive team, dude.
Pretty much.
You got guys playing out of position. Sosa in the outfield. Turner's a terrible shortstop.
He is.
Crawford's a below average center fielder. Stott's great at second, obviously. Baum's okay at third. Harper's good at first. I mean, they're below average.
I think Harper's pretty good at first. I'm not going to say he's crappy first.
They're pretty much below average teams. They're going to give up unearned runs. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That's we know the deficiencies.
But if we hit, we can compensate for that.
They can, and if they get the good pitching, and which they usually do on most nights, and look, it was a great series win.
Pound a bad bullpen. That's what they did.
They pounded that bad bullpen. They really
did.
Really crushed it. So,
isn't it good? We're gonna do the Chimay.
Yeah,
next.
you want to jump in?
Yes,
jump in the Chimay
let's do the
before
Chimay. I forget.
It's
It's Chimay is actually like a town in Belgium. I forget where as far as east or west, but man,
which
this
White Label.
Yeah,
I
the
guess,
white. Yeah, this is Well, this is really. I'm really going old school when I went to buy my summer stock. We're gonna have to let that settle. Actually,
yeah, Chimay. Something else.
Yeah. Chimay's really good stuff. I'm really into the European theme here. Chimay's awesome, and we'll do some Polliner next.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so what can we expect in the second half? And
more good things.
And Ken Dombrowski plugged the holes that we're going to talk about tonight. And as far as I can tell, they got 3 glaring holes.
I think they're trying.
I mean, to be honest,
Derek Hill's looking pretty good right now.
I expect I mean, I expect the Phillies to probably win close to another 45 games in the second half, finish somewhere with 88 to 90 wins. With the current roster, that is, and I expect Dombrowski to make a move or two.
Yes.
The first thing, and we've been talking about this for a while, we're not going to get into what players are going to be available, but the first
next time we will.
The first and most glaring hole for me at the moment is the bridge to Duran from the starting pitcher. Can Keller, Kakarin, or Alvarado pick up their game and become the eighth inning, bridge to Duran?
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with Kakarin the last couple.
He's been very disappointing.
Yeah. But I think he will come around.
And so has Kakarin, and so has Alvarado, to be quite
Alvarado
honest.
is really disappointing.
Yeah, to beat
his ERA is what, 6.2 something.
Banks got sent down. That was a disappointment. So we need these guys. We need a left-handed reliever. We need them to find their games. The second hole for us is the fifth starter spot with Painter failing this year. Can Allen Rangel be a serviceable fifth starter for,
we don't know yet.
3, 4, 5 games? He had a good outing his first game. And can Andrew Painter get himself corrected down in AAA over the next month, saying maybe come back in August? So that's another glaring hole that's going to
be down there that long
to be addressed. I think he's going to be down there a while. Yeah,
all right.
I do. I think they got to work on some stuff here with him, and
figuring it
out.
And
then third and foremost, Ken Dombrowski had a right-handed bat that they desperately need.
So far, so good with the Hill, though.
Yeah, let me try that shit.
How about it?
We'll address. I'm going to address that. That was in my thing there.
Happy for the guy, Like he's
hit a couple of homers.
I mean,
so
it's cool.
I mean, getting right down to it, Hill's a fourth outfielder.
Sure.
And Rinconis is probably not ready. So that's technically your fourth and fifth outfielders right now. They need
Marsh,
to make
Crawford,
a move.
Somebody.
Yeah, I'm okay with Marsh in left, Crawford in center.
Marsh is killing it too, man.
We need to start now. We need a right-handed bat. Hill's not the answer. Hill will be a nice little Harrison Bader type.
Sure.
He might provide a couple of moments, but he's not the guy that's going to get them over the hump. Now, that being said, there's not a lot of options out there in the right-handed outfield spot. You know what I mean? So this team might be forced to look for a first baseman or even a third baseman, and then that would necessitate moving parts. Obviously, we've talked about this in the past. Would Harper go back to right field? Claims he would. Baum could go over to first if they obtain a first baseman. So
Harper's playing pretty well at first.
We'll see how that shakes out.
And Rincones Jr. is a left-handed bat that could probably go back to the minors if you had to make a roster spot. Right?
He could go back. Stubbs could be sent back to the minors.
We're talking about Mattingly in post-game Wednesday, I believe, was this last Wednesday, was liking the fact that Stubbs can pinch run, can steal you a base. He's kind of versatile. He can catch, obviously, but he can play other positions too.
Some multiple positions, kind of like a.
I mean, I like Stubby. I kind of been dumping on Marchand more than I.
It's kind of like when Dombrowski thought he could bring Whit Merrifield in to do all that stuff, and Scott Kingery, and they failed. And
kind of like the same batting average too.
And Stubbsy is kind of in along the lines of a Scott Kingery and a Whit Merrifield. The 210 batting average, and great, they can run and they can play multiple positions, this and that. But you know what?
The offense is.
How about we just get a player that can hit 270 and can play a position? Tonight
right field. Preferably
tonight, for an example, with a left-handed pitcher on the mound. So we got Sosa in left field tonight, Hills in right field tonight. So the bench tonight is Crawford, Stubbs, Marchand, and Rinconis Jr. It's an awful bench, dude. It's awful.
Crawford because Marsh is in center.
Marsh is in center tonight. Hills in right, and the guy with the right-handed lineup.
It's not great, but I don't know. I mean,
to me,
I don't think Crawford's ready to be coming off the bench and pinch hitting at this point.
Not really.
You know what I mean?
Not really.
He's not.
Let me ask you this: nothing for nothing.
He plays pretty much every day, except for when Thompson was sitting him early in the season, which pissed us off. Let him play. But a guy like him, he's going to sit on the bench. He's left-handed, and right-handed reliever.
He needs to play every day.
He needs to play every day. He can't come up. I don't expect anything from him to come into a game late and pinch hit.
No, not at all.
More so, Hill is a better option for that. So
basically, he let me get another refill there.
Yes.
Look, can you get by with Hill and Rinconis in a platoon right now, and Sosa playing a little bit of left field against
it's going
righties?
okay.
You can get by that. You can get by that when you're playing the Marlins, the Nationals, the Royals, and the Tigers. You're not going to get by with that in the playoffs.
Hold on,
Brewers and
let's not talk playoffs. Just I know what you're saying, but how about right after the All-Star game? We have Mets, but then it's like Dodgers, Yankees,
Yeah, you start
and
playing.
stuff. We
You start
played
playing
some
some
good
good teams. Yeah,
really good teams.
and let's be honest. Like
back-to-back series, Dodgers.
we've had our
Yankees.
trouble with the good teams this year. The Dodgers,
Yes,
the Brewers,
the Brewers,
the Cubs at the time. I mean,
the Cubs
so,
when they were relevant.
I mean, we've lost to the good teams, and yeah, we've said this before. The Phillies are going to beat up on the bad teams, the bad bullpens, the third, fourth, fifth starters.
Bad bullpens are taking a beating.
They're going to beat up on them, and you can get by with a Sosa in left field and a Hill. But when you get into a series, you get into a 5-7 game series in the playoffs, and you're going to need some real players there. You know what I mean? You're going to need outfielders who can play. You can't make them defensive mistakes in the playoffs. So so let's get back and what we were talking about here again. So the bullpen. What do they need there? For me, I believe Kakarin and Keller will find their groove this year and pitch better.
We need a left-handed arm.
And be fine as a 1-2 punch in the 7th and 8th inning from the right side. But they're going to need a lefty there. Can Alvarado do that? He's a bit dicey. I don't know. I don't know if he can do it.
I'm not liking Alvarado. I think Alvarado's more like a 5th, 6th inning guy right now, man.
So
I don't want him coming in a
facing
close
Olsen
game
or Soda.
I don't want him coming in with men on base. That's always seems to be a problem. It has been in the past.
He'll walk guys.
Yeah, he'll walk guys.
He'll definitely walk guys.
He's always pitching behind.
So for me, I'm okay with Kakarin and Karen. I do believe they will turn around. They've been okay. They haven't been great like we thought, but they've been okay. And I think they'll pitch better. Alvarado worries me a bit. So for me, they're in a wait and see mood, obviously, with that. That would be second on my list come the trade deadline. It wouldn't be my first move looking for a reliever. It would be second. The fifth starter spot, we talked about that.
They're all very, we need all that stuff.
I would give Rangel every opportunity to pitch 4 or 5 games.
Why not?
See what Painter does down there. If Rangel's just, he's giving you 5 innings, 3-4 runs, you can probably survive with that, for a while, you know what I mean? And if Painter just can't get it together, then maybe the deadline hits and you see if you can find a serviceable pitcher. For me, that would be the third move behind the bullpen, which I would say is more important.
It's a shame you're talking about that, right? Like the 5th starter.
Yeah,
like we shouldn't be pissing and moaning about the 5th starter.
You're going to make 15 starts. You're going to need 15 starts in the second half out of that. You got 16 out of the All-Star break. That's 3 more spots. You're still talking 18 more starts for the year for that position. That's 18 games. If Painter was still here and they decided to stick with him, that is feasibly 16 out of them 18 losses they might lose.
Yeah, but
it's
like a Walker scheduled loss.
Yeah, you just can't go with it. You can't do it. So for me, it's a wait and see right now. Rangel gets a couple opportunities. You can always have the dreaded bullpen game if Rangel
I hate
fails
the dreaded
after
bullpen game.
Yeah,
start out with Backus or something.
And where's your bullpen out? I mean, it does.
But it taxes them for the next game. They did that in Chicago, and like the day when I came home, it was the bullpen for 2 innings or so, or 2 innings and then Walker.
Yeah, they went with.
That was
awful. It's just I don't understand. They even did it with Rangel the other night. They started with Mays and then went for Rangel for 5 innings. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their thinking is.
I don't know.
Tampa Bay started this crap a few years ago with the bullpen game. Teams, if it's like the trend, everyone follows. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world.
I think it's dumb.
It beats your bullpen. Look,
right.
The way they used to do it, you had 7 relievers in that bullpen. 3 or 4 were your top relievers. You had a couple middle inning guys that came in the 5th and 6th, and you had a mop-up guy. That was the guy like a Taiwan Walker, could step in and start 5 innings if you needed. You know what I mean? In a situation like this,
which unfortunately, due to his contract, wasn't an option.
No, when you're making, you're making $18 million a year, you shouldn't be a mop-up guy.
No,
that's a failure on
That was just an
Dombrowski.
Unfortunate chain of events that happened.
That's one of the many bad signings that Dombrowski
you're right.
has made.
We didn't have guys out of the bullpen starting back in the day. It was we let so and so, whoever's like the 5th or crappy starter, and then second, third inning, he'd bring in some middle, low level guys to kind of bridge.
For the norm, you need 5 or 6 starts during the season. Most teams had the eighth guy in the bullpen, the mop up guy. But most teams also have, Junior, 3 or 4 guys in a minor league that they could bring up. And I'll use a reference. Mick Abel last year came up, started a game or 2 good.
Yep.
They got some video on him, and then he got lit up. And he was out after 4 or 5 starts. Yeah. That's fine. You bring a guy like Rangel up here, and he gives you 2 good starts, 2 bad starts, and you decide to ship him out. then you bring another guy up, and
Is
maybe
Seth
repeats
Johnson
it
back
2
in
or
the
3
minors?
games. I'm not sure what they did with him yet. He could still be up. But most teams have an opportunity where they could get 3 or 4 starts out of a guy like a Wrangle.
Right.
And then if he got beat up his next 2 like Abel did, they bring another guy up and he gets 2 or 3 starts. Now you're 7 starts in. The problem with the Phillies is we do not have
Don't
another
have that
guy
option.
anywhere in the
Yeah,
minor
yeah,
leagues
you're right.
other than
Yeah,
Wrangle to
you're
come
right.
up at this point.
That's unfortunate.
Everyone down there's ERAs are horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And which is an indictment to their system. I was looking the other day at their prospects and their minor leagues.
Nobody's doing much.
You know, you look at a guy like Gage Wood right now, a top prospect, okay? He's promoted up to Double-A. These guys are only pitching 3 or 4 innings a game. They're not pitching 6 or 7. So 14 starts,
He's not ready.
okay? 14 starts and like 40-some-odd innings. Like, what is going on here? Why are these guys not being stretched out, pitching 4 or 5 innings? I don't understand what they're doing. They're babying them. It's been like that for
years.
Look,
It's been that for a while.
I don't want to get off cave here, but I got to say
this.
this organization, and we've said this from, they have not been able to produce players. I mean, this is an organization that needs to go to free agency. Ramuto, Harper, Turner, Marsh on a trade. Like, this team needs to bring in guys from other work. Right now, the homegrown players on this team, Stott, Baum, they're decent players. They're probably never going to be stars. They're okay. Aaron Nola, middle of the pack pitcher. Crawford, the jury's out on him right now. So I mean, we haven't really produced anybody of significance that I can really think of that jumps off the top of my head from Utley and Rollins, like back then, and Ryan Howard, the big 3. And it's just been failure after failure. Kingery, Moniak didn't cut it here. He's been okay in Colorado. It just seems like
you know what we should do.
And there's just nothing down in that minor leagues for him.
I have a just quick 10-second suggestion. We quit this podcast bullshit, and you and I get plane tickets to Dominican. We become scouts.
And
we just start watching baseball all day, drinking El Presidente, and other shitty beers, and we'll find someone that can actually.
It's amazing to me because every team, it seems
like there's certain organizations.
Every team in the Phillies organization. Miami finds them. Washington finds them.
Tampa.
Listen, they can't hold on to them because they don't have the influx of money like we do in the fan base. But Miami has pitchers every year and players. Washington seems to have players every year. We ain't going to speak about the Braves pitching in the minor leagues because it's
always good.
Unfortunately for the Braves, they have the arms. They just can't stay healthy. They get hurt.
They get hurt.
And I'm not quite sure. I don't want to jump on the Mets bandwagon. Mets are probably closer to the Phillies, but them other 3 teams do it, and the Phillies don't. They just haven't, and they really have. They really don't have nobody that jumps out. Gage Wood, there's talk of him possibly coming up in September.
No.
And that may have to happen.
That should have been Painter last year.
Could have been Painter last year, but unfortunately,
they babied him
they gave this job to Painter this year out of necessity. He had a 5-something ERA in the minors last year, and they just talked about health. How he was back working on stuff, this and that. Look, you have a 5 ERA in the minors. You did not earn a promotion to the big leagues. I'm sorry, but
he wasn't ready.
Their only other options was Taijuan Walker. They have a guy, Gene Cabrera, in the minor leagues they were counting on this year. His ERA's in the 7 in the minors right now. He's in the 7, might be in the 9s, I think I seen the other day. So he's not panning out. So they really have nothing. So, that 5th starter spot.
Knock on wood, they stay healthy. I don't want anybody like a Luzardo or
if
anybody going down.
If Nolan goes down there in trouble,
anyone
goes down there in trouble,
we're screwed.
Which in turn may make getting a major league pitcher at the trade deadline a necessity for this team.
Which we would never thought we would talk about.
Right, technically
we need a bat.
For the 4th year in a row, we need an outfielder. It's 4 years now. It's been 4 years, and every year he's tried something different. Free agents have failed in Garcia and Kepler. And then the trades, Austin Hayes and Bate. I mean, every year we've been adding instead of just getting the right player in here. So, they need it again this year, obviously. And it's not going to be Derek Hill, folks. I mean, I know he's hit 2 home runs the last 2 games. People were excited, this and that. Derek Hill, the back of Derek Hill's baseball card says what he is, okay? He's been in the league for 8 or 9 years. He's a .230 hitter. Look, may he pop a couple homers.
Bader. He's a Bader.
Not even as good as Bader. He might give the Phils a few homers, playing in a platoon here. But again, we don't need that. We need a hitter, and I'm okay with him giving Crawford a couple games off.
Sure.
You know what I mean? In center field here and there against a tough lefty. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's where he should be. But I cannot plug Derek Hill and Gabriel Rincones in right field the rest of the year and say platoon the rest of the year. This is our answer. And Sosa in left field. That is not going to cut it.
I totally agree with that.
It's just not going to cut it, dude. We've seen it. We've seen it for 4 years. It's not going to work.
And now we're knocking on the door, like chasing the Braves down before the All-Star break at the beginning of the podcast.
they're
You're like,
right on them.
We're gonna go play the Mets, who just fired their manager.
Mets just fired their manager. Let's hope they don't go on a Phillies type of run.
Kind of like follow.
Lindor's back now, so they have the players there. It's just
Yo, the Mets made like 6 errors in one game. Dude, what's up with that?
The Mets are metting, man.
The Mets are metting.
But every time we seem to
God,
think,
you know what? I would say I feel bad for the Mets fans, but honestly, we don't.
No,
we just.
I would like to say the Mets are metting, but every time we said that over the last couple of years,
then they
back
rally.
To bite us in the ass.
So
the Mets are metting at the moment.
It did bite us in the ass, didn't it?
I'm not going to write the Mets off. In the day of the wild card, when
they get hot, they play shitty teams like we're playing right now.
The Reds were in last year with 83 wins. So look, if you can win 83 games and make the playoffs, I can't write the Mets off. Not with Soto. Lindor's back now.
Soto's a beast.
Whatchamacallit, Bo Bichette. I mean, they have players. So, and they have a little bit of pitching. So
he's making some errors too.
Yeah, they all are. But
they're all
they're
all screwing up.
Their defense is kind of in the Phillies' realm of defense. So
I think they're worse, dude. After that, watching watching that online, the errors, it was just like, man, the Mets are really bad.
Hey, look, we always say
really bad.
We always say in the second half of the season, teams start to show who they are. So look, you're going to start to see. In my opinion, I believe. Without the Nationals are probably going to start falling below 500 soon without a bullpen. They got a great hitting team, good young team.
They got some good starters,
but they don't. They're going to fall. The Marlins are probably going to drop below 500. Pittsburgh's going to drop. They're just going to be the usual suspects. Stay hot till around now.
Yeah.
They're going to start dropping, and then you're going to see the team. You're going to see the Phillies and the Braves. The Mets will probably start playing better. You're going to see the Cubs and the Brewers playing good. You're going to see the Dodgers, the Padres.
The Brewers are really
Diamondbacks
good.
sneaking
Brewers
there.
are really good.
Yeah, Brewers are probably going to take that division. The Cubs could get up their ass soon, though. And the Padres could get on the Dodgers.
And the Cardinals are relevant. That division's really, really...
There's a team right there I expect at some point will probably level out as well, the Cardinals. They could sneak into playoffs around that 83, 84 win mark, but I fully expect it to be, the Phillies and Braves, division winner wild card, Padres, Dodger, division winner wild card, Brewers, Cubs, division winner wild card. I fully expect that.
Yeah, the Giants are very disappointing. I think they're sellers. I don't know if we can tap into that.
They've been talking about Chapman, probably third baseman. The Phillies were looking to go that route. Again,
he's a rental, though. We don't want that. That's not going to happen.
I mean, unfortunately, the Phillies are probably, unless they want to take on a salary dump, and with what they have available and what I think they'd be willing to move in the minor leagues. For me, they're probably not going to move Miller or Gage Wood, their top two prospects.
Right, and you brought it up. We don't have much else.
And then after that, Aaron Uskbar and
last podcast you were like, we don't have
Renteria,
much
a 17-year-old outfielder. I mean, a 17.
Who wants that?
Yeah, he's probably not getting you a Mike Trout unless you take that whole contract, something like that. No. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for Dombrowski. I'm expecting nothing more than a Harrison Bader type move again. Maybe a guy to complement Derek Hill out there. I don't know. A move like that. It may not even be the right-handed bat. It may be a left-handed bat. Just another outfielder that's better than Rincones to play with Hill. I fully expect if they get a fifth starter, we're talking like a couple years ago, a Michael Lorenzen type. You're looking at the guy that goes 10-10 with like the 3.99 ERA, pitches 6 innings, keeps you in games.
Keeps you in games, kind of like a Nola.
And for a reliever, teams that the Phillies been linked. I love it every year.
Well, we got to look at the bad teams that want to dump a decent left-handed reliever.
You hear Chapman's now name. I'll be the first to go on record and say right now there is not a chance in hell Chapman comes to the Phillies.
Because we're not going to give up what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to happen.
We don't have it. It's going to be a middle of the pack reliever, like a big bad John Bolin at the Phillies.
Big bad John Bolin. You love that stuff.
Yeah, great song the other night. And I'm going to kind of like highlight bad being a thing here as he came in the other night and gave up a homer. So, maybe a Matt Strom. Maybe Strom from the Royals makes his way back here as the left-handed reliever. That's the kind of move I'm expecting. I'm expecting like a Matt Strom, a Michael Lorenzen starter, and a Harrison Bader type outfielder coming in here. And that's pretty much where I think we're going to be. And it's going to be up to the main core to show up in the playoffs
to get after it.
Yeah, we have the pitcher.
Get after it.
I fully expect Sanchez and Wheeler to give you 7 innings in a playoff game of 2 runs.
I like what you brought it up. We got Sanchez,
Wheeler,
and then
Luzardo.
So that I like it.
If you're a wild card, it's only 3 games, so it's going to be Sanchez,
I like it.
Wheeler, Luzardo. The NLDS divisional round. The divisional round is a 5-game series. So you get into a 5-game series there. You still only need the 3 pitchers because they space it out now. You don't get the back-to-back games. It's a Monday night, a Wednesday night, a travel day off. You might play a Friday, a Sunday, come back.
Boom.
So you're able to get by with, in a 5-game series, using your top 3 pitchers. So that would be Sanchez twice, Wheeler twice, and Luzardo trying to win 3 games. I like them odds. Now, you get down to the NLCS, you're going to need that guy, your 4th starter to make 1 start. So you're going to have Nola. Now, the way they did it last year,
Los Angeles last year.
Hey, look, they did it perfect. They got him through the lineup one time. He went 3 innings, I believe. He looked good, and that could be an option where they could come in there, depending where the series is too. Let's say, for argument's sake, you hit that game 4 with a 2-1 lead. They might say, you know what, game 4, all right, we're going to go with Nola. We're up 2-1. We're going to let him pitch a little more than just through the lineup once. But if they had to go to him once through the lineup, 3 innings per se, and then you're going to tax your bullpen a little bit with 6. But then you're going to come back with your top 3 starters for games 5, 6, and 7. I like their any series where Wheeler and Sanchez.
I'm liking our bullpen.
I would like to think, Junior, nothing for nothing. Any series where you're going to get 4 starts from Sanchez and Wheeler, I like our chances to win at least 3 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you mix Luzardo in there, getting a start in each one of them series. I really like their chances to win in them series. You know what I mean? So, that's where they're at. Like they got to add a little bit, and then it's going to be up to the main core. So that's pretty much all we got for tonight, folks.
Yeah, you got through all your notes.
Got through our notes. We got our beers in.
We got a lot going on.
Enjoy the weekend, folks. Let's get a couple from the Mets over these next 16 games. Let's win 10 or 11 of these, and let's catch
win
the Braves.
Some games. Let's
possibly pass them.
I want the Braves now, dude.
Let's do what we didn't expect. Me being one of them thought that was over. Braves are playing lights out, but again, in a long season, injuries do creep in, and teams level out sometimes. So
they're injured. And
are the Phillies going to continue to play at the pace they're playing under Manley like this in the second half the rest of the year? Probably not. No. Not as good at a 600 and some odd pace, but they're still going to win 6 out of every 10 games, I think. So we got like we always talk about this, me and you. 3 months left in the season, 27 games per month, 3 increments of that. 27 games. Let's just pull off, a 15 and 12, a 16 and 11, and like a 14 and 13, and win the 88, 89, 90 games.
Let's
and
do
get
this.
The playoffs.
Let's win.
So that's all we got, folks.
Let's win.
Have a great weekend, and
we'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon. Yeah, we'll see you in a little bit
before the All-Star break.
Yeah, before the All-Star break, and then we'll talk
a
little bit about the All-Star break as well, being here at Citizens Bank Park.
Sorry, we were a little rushed tonight.
Yep. Have a great weekend,
drink
folks.
and run. Cheers.